We're going to start with the most popular breakfast in the whole world, the British breakfast. So let's start with baked beans. We pour in some oil. When the oil is nice and warm, that's when you add ginger and garlic paste. And when it gets slightly browned and cooked, you add 2 chopped onions. And now we cook the onions till they become translucent. When you have that beautiful onion, garlic, and ginger smell all over your kitchen, you add in 3 cups of tomato puree. I use store-bought puree because fresh tomato puree is not going to give you the desired result for this particular sauce. And increase the flame just a touch and wait for it to boil. A little bit of ketchup to the baked beans really gives it a good flavor. Their famous malt vinegar. And of course, Worcestershire sauce. 1.5 tablespoons of honey and gets mixed. Little bit of crushed chili. Then of course, I've taken some fresh thyme and cut it up nice and fine. And finally we add salt and crushed black pepper. Make sure there's a light boiling. And now we pour this hot sauce over the soaked beans in a heat-proof glass casserole dish. Mix the beans in with the sauce. So I'm going to put them in an oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 30 minutes. The next thing we're going to do is make hash browns. For this, I need potatoes with the eyes taken out and the skin peeled off, as I've done now. Now you may think just because we grated the potatoes that they're not going to oxidize once grated, but that's not going to happen. So once you grate them, put the grated potatoes back into the water. So after you're done with grating all the potatoes, you drain all the water out and spread the potatoes on a dry, clean dishcloth. And make sure you absorb all the moisture so that it's easier to work with when you're frying them. There you go. Cover them up and leave them aside for about 2 minutes. Then take a big glass bowl and break in 2 eggs. And whisk the eggs until completely combined. Add the salt and crushed black pepper and mix it well with the eggs. When this is done, take the potatoes out of the dishcloth and put the dry potatoes in the egg, salt and pepper mixture. Make sure the potatoes and the eggs have combined thoroughly in the bowl. And now we fry up the potatoes, so again, a whole lot of oil. Take a spoonful of mixture and put it down. With your spatula, flatten it and try and form a shape. Now what I've gone for is slightly squarish, but traditionally they do triangles. When they seem to have cooked from one side, lightly flip them over so that they cook from both. So when they're done, make sure that you lay them out on some absorbent paper so that the excess oil is absorbed. What we do next is we fry up some mushrooms. Little bit of oil, just a drizzle. So we add butter to the oil and let it melt. I'm going to add some fresh thyme that I've chopped finely and just mix it so that the butter gets a nice fragrance. Now we add the mushrooms. Also, with mushrooms, you're going to need a good amount of salt because they are in reality without any sort of flavor, and some crushed black pepper, of course, to give it that good peppery kick. So when the mushrooms have shrunk slightly in their size, they're cooked. Just deglaze the pan with vinegar so that the mushrooms get a nice juice going to it. And mushrooms cooked stewing in their own juice is just heavenly. And now that we're done with the mushrooms, the next step is to make the bacon and sausages. Medium flame, pan, a whole lot of goodness of oil, and then we add the sausages. Let them swim around a little bit in the pan, get coated by oil on all sides. That's what's going to lead to a nice even browning. What we're going to cook next is called the food of the gods, bacon. So when the bacon is nice and pink on both sides, and you see this layer of fat on the top of it, when it seems to have shrunk, that's when the bacon's done. So what we do next is we grill a tomato. So now we make the last thing for the British breakfast, and that is the eggs. We break the eggs directly on the pan. Now the flame should be medium to low. You don't want the eggs to dry out completely. Here we go, omelette on the plate. And then we add the bacon, the sausages, the tomato, the hash brown, the mushrooms, and finally the baked beans on the side of a nice toast. And of course this is served with butter, and no English breakfast is complete without a drink, hot or cold. So there you have it, a full English breakfast at your fingertips.